Hey, Andrew. Can you guys hear me? Hopefully you can. Right, so I'm thinking it's just gonna be a, relaxed, maybe 30, 40 minutes or something like that. I'm just gonna take a look at Bitcoin. This is a private live for you guys in the Nest Club. Let's see. All right. Let's see if I can share the link with some more people. All right, so Bitcoin is dumping. It's not looking it's not looking beautiful, right? So we're gonna go through this. I feel like this shot right here, this is my main Bitcoin shot, and I feel like it's just outdated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove everything. I think it's very important from time to time to just remove everything from the shot, right? And you start all over basically. So we have some interesting developments right here, and so like we are seeing some pretty, in my opinion, pretty clear signs of. I mean, all right. So let me put it this way: if the market reverses right here, if this is the end of the bull market, we are most likely going to look back at this and say, it was obvious in hindsight. But that's the problem with hindsight trading. Everything looks obvious after the fact, right? But if we use kind of like, we use the replay function here, and we add the daily 20 and the daily 50, everything's looking good, right? Everything's looking beautiful. And I remember when we were trading back here, I personally said on Twitter that I am going to look at exiting Bitcoin if we lose the daily 50, right? Very, very simple. And the reason for this is because when we lose the daily 50 EMA, there's going to be a major change in behavior, right? And if that also aligns with a potential lower low, we're not only going to see a change in behavior in terms of moving averages, we're also going to see a very clear change in behavior according to the market structure, right? A bullish market structure gives you higher highs and higher lows. We break that market structure as soon as we start looking for a lower low, basically. So what happened here was we failed to hold the daily 50 EMA, and I wouldn't really view that as a lower low. I don't even think it is. No, it's not even a lower low. It's I would view that as a yeah. So what I would do here is, I have low, 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 and low. I would probably not look at this area as a high time frame low. I guess that's depends on how you interpreted that, but yeah, I would say that this This is a low and this is a high, and this is the move between the low and high, exactly as this is the low, this is the high, and this is not going to be a low based on the daily, right? So, and if you have any questions, just I got the chat up here, so if you have any questions, just feel free to ask them, and if I have the time, I will go through the questions. Anyway, we'll look at the daily right here. Another thing I like to see as well is when you have the bounces here, either on the 20 EMA or the 50 daily EMA, you see that stochastics RSI is bottoming out. So that's a trend, a behavior of this trend. Now we're gonna look for clues of a change in behavior. So we lost the daily 50 EMA. That's my first kind of like my first sign of exiting. So I started averaging out of Bitcoin here. And my next sign of exiting was, if we had a daily open and close below the 50, and we got that right there. So when we had that, I started averaging, I started selling Bitcoin even more. But then we had, this behavior is still valid. You have the stochastics is about to bottom out here, and you have a pretty decent support area right here. I think you can even draw use the rectangle tool to kind of draw a bottom here. Very nice, beautiful, right? It's a perfect test of that level, which looks pretty good. So if we can reclaim this, and also something to notice, when the stochastics is bottoming out and you're about to reverse, you have a quite decent engulfing candle right here, here, and here. So if we get a daily engulfing candle while the stochastics RSI turns bullish, we have at least that part of the behavior of this trend is going to be intact. And if we then reclaim the 50 EMA, I would view this as not a fake out, but some sort of fake out to the downside. So let's see what happens here on the next candle. Wait, I'm looking at this completely wrong. You know what? I actually, or am I? Wait, this is weird. This is on Binance. So let me see here. Yeah, exactly. I thought, sorry guys, I thought we were trading down here currently, which was just, I got that, that was weird. All right, so let's go back. Yes, all right. So what happened here is we broke that level to the downside, and we now have a lower low, right? So we not only did we break the daily 50 and a daily 20 EMA, we also created a lower low. So for me, this is a major change in behavior. This is a very bearish development where we create a new high time frame lower low, basically. But what happened here is very interesting, right? We had a very strong daily bullish engulfing candle, and I'm pretty sure the next candle is going to reclaim the daily 50. Yeah, so we're now, around the daily 50 again. So this was definitely a show of strength, right? We had a lot of liquidations here, most likely. We had a lot of buying pressure coming out in. So I felt right here that, all right, so this might actually be the beginning of the continuation of the bull trend. So let's kind of like draw a couple of levels here as resistance. So that's a pretty decent level. So in my head, I'm thinking, well, all right, so if this is the bottom, if we are going to continue to the upside, we need to not let the daily 20 EMA cross below the 50, and we need to reclaim this area right here. And that area is going to be the area between 55.5 and let's say 58, the 58 area. So let's see what happens here, because we are still in the danger zone of this being the a new high time frame lower low, and this up here is going to be potentially a lower high, right? All right, so somebody is All right, never mind. So somebody's confused about the Bitcoin report, asking why I'm using a chart from April on the May report. Well, it's if you joined earlier, you know that I'm looking at this current trend. I'm just giving you the analysis on of this, whatever. So yeah, we are now in the danger of creating a lower high with a lower low. So we need to really reclaim this area and create a higher low, right? So let's um, move forward, right? That obviously does not look very good. But if we bounce down here and then reclaim that area, we're all good, right? And look at that, a beautiful, beautiful daily bullish engulfing candle once again. And the 20 has not reclaimed or the 20 has not gone below the 50 on the daily, and it's just a beautiful market structure right here. Look at that, just a beautiful, beautiful market structure on the 4-hour. Everything looks just beautiful, right? But still, we are still in the the danger zone of creating a lower high with a lower low, right? So we also have to keep that in mind, right? And what happens here is we did not really reclaim this area. I mean, this support area right here, or this resistance area, might not be correctly drawn. It might just be a little bit higher on these closest right here. And if I use those, you will see that this is just a price is basically just hitting resistance right here, right? So even if the market structure on the 4-hour just looks absolutely beautiful right here, we're still just hitting resistance on a daily and quite possibly putting in a lower high. So I mean, obviously, if this bullish market structure should if this market structure is going to continue, like this bullish market structure in the 4-hour is going to continue upwards, we need to hold that level right there. And the first test is just a beautiful retest of that level. But now the problem kind of begins when looking at the daily, right? So it's still resistance, and now we get this, right? And we're trading here today, right? So what I have been talking about for several weeks is the importance of the 50k area, right? If we lose the 50k area, we are definitely in the danger zone of this being the reversal, right? But we also, we also have some pretty obvious FUD going on right now with Tesla. I wouldn't say that. I mean, we got Tesla, we have the Binance FUD, and it kind of looks like the articles written about these two subjects have been greatly, like, pretty weirdly worded, right? Which makes me think that this might just be FUD, right? And like, the word FUD isn't just something you throw out when there's something negative going on. FUD is actually something that big players, institutions, or whatever like to use. They like to spread false rumors, create panic, and create some strong selling action to fill their big bags with lower orders, right? So it's not some hocus pocus, weird shit going on is a word you can throw around. It's actually something real, right? So there might be the possibility that what we're seeing right now in terms of media attention on crypto might just be FUD. And I'd like to show you something here on the weekly. We have the weekly 20 EMA right here. So let's actually go to the BTC USD chart on Bitstamp. We can look at all the major bull runs here. And you will see that price in a major bull run, even on the strongest pullbacks, is very often respecting the 20 EMA and the weekly. It's a very important EMA to keep your eyes on. And you can see that prices really respecting that area. The interesting part here is I would view the start of the bull market or the start of the bull run when we broke the 12 around 12.5 area to the upside, and we're actually hitting the weekly 20 EMA right now, which is the first time in the beginning of this the first time since this bull market started. So with that in mind, the fact that the 20 EMA in the weekly is a historically very strong level used as support, with the fact that we are actually also hitting the 50% fib using that low right there. I think, yeah, up to that one. We're hitting the 50% fib right here, confluent with the weekly 20 EMA, confluent with a major support area, right? So it's highly likely that we do get a bounce here, right? And like I'm leaning, like I'm a bit scared. Like, to be a Bitcoin bull, you should be a little bit scared now, because it's definitely showing signs like this. The behavior of this trend is gone, right? We have now started a new phase of this trend. I would say the easy trades might be gone for a while, where you could have on the high time frames just bought every breakout, bought every hit of the daily 20 or the daily 50 EMA. We now obviously have a different market structure going on here. We have a high time frame range, but we are testing high time frame support, confluent with the 50%, confluent with the 20 EMA on the weekly. So to kind of judge this, like to look at this and say, like, to make sure that this would actually be you know what, let's look at the daily 100. Daily 100 and daily 200, daily 50. All right, so to actually kind of look at this and say, this might be the bottom, we need to look at the lower time frames and try to find some type of bullish break in market structure, right? So on the hourly, we had a potential W before on the hourly, and that's obvious, right? That's pretty obvious when you have something like this. And we were obviously looking for something like that. If you get that, well, yeah, would definitely take the risk of going long here, right? So on the 15-minute, we have some interesting developments right here. We have a resistance area right here. Let's just draw it like that, right? So we're testing the weekly 20 EMA, and we are inside the RLC of this move right here. So this makes me think that, well, we bounced up to 618. We took out the long RLC of this current range right here, and if we can actually successfully break out and retest the neckline of this W, I would say that this might not be a terrible entry, right? You also see that you have the 50 right here, right? So the 50% fib confluent with high time frame support. You see the 50 minute hitting that support area right here, breaking down, forming a W double bottom inside the local RLC, where the neckline of the W is the high time frame, upper part of the high time frame support area, right? So if I'm most likely not going to be at my desk whenever this happens, but I would definitely consider taking a long trade on Bitcoin based on this low time frame structure right here. But when I say take a long, I am taking a long on my short-term day trading account, right? I am not looking to, buy the dip to fill up on more, long-term holdings. I want to wait for some higher, more confirmation for that to happen. And for that to happen, I'm probably going to look for a, maybe a 4-hour W like that or something like this. But right now I'm looking at a potential long based on this low time frame structure right here. But it's risky. It is risky. But I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing here. See if it makes sense to add a trend line here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. So let's see what the moving averages on the 50-minute are telling us. Yeah, so ideally I would like to, that's probably not going to happen, but ideally I would like to see the 20 EMA and the 50-minute cross above the 50 EMA on the 15-minute while this retest happens. And another thing you can do here is if you select the low right here, right, see you later, Andrew. So if you select this low, let's say you break out here. So let's say this is the breakout, right? So if that's actually the breakout, you're gonna have a low here, and you're gonna have a breakout, and that breakout might hit that level right now, right there, right? So what I'd like to do is I'd like to try to anticipate where price will hit resistance, and in this case it's going to be up here, and I am putting a fib on this move, and if the long RLC or at least the 618 lines up with the breakout area, I know that that's the level and that's the retest I want to take, because a lot of times you will actually have the break and retest happening, inside the long RLC. So let's look at this. Low and high to that fib. You look at that. The 618 lines up perfectly. You can switch that to the long RLC tool. You see that the 618 of the RLC lines up perfectly with that breakout target. So if we actually do get a RLC structure that would look like this. Yeah, sorry, I read the chat and somebody said 1x all in. Yeah, I mean, let's go. Anyway, so that would be the trade, right? That would be the trade. You go long here, and now that's trying to snipe a low time frame entry. So if you're gonna snipe a low time frame entry, I think it makes sense to take profits early. I think you could even have the stop loss based on the bounce. You can even have the stop loss down here. And I would secure this position early, and I would most likely start moving my stops to entry when we break above that fib right there, and let this run. And the targets for this one would be most likely here and here. So the trade would look something like this, where I would take profit at 3R, and next profit would be 4.5. So let's say 25% here, 75% here. That would be an average R of 4. I definitely like that, and yeah, I do view this as a high probability trade if it happens, and because it's just we're in a high time frame area and we're seeing low time frame patterns play out like this. So if we actually do get a break and retest of the long RLC right here, that would be a beautiful long. All right, so let's see. How high should the 4-hour close to be safe? All right, so let's see. How high should the 4-hour close be to be safe? To be safe, I would probably say like 51.5, right? I mean, this 4-hour candle right here, it's not going to be safe. I mean, nothing about this candle is safe. You're not going to be safe. I mean, you're going to be safe, but this 4-hour candle, it's not going to close like in 28 minutes above 51.5, right? It's not going to happen most likely. So there's no question about it. You're not going to be able to be safe in judging price action by the next couple of hours. This is going to play out for much longer, most likely, maybe until tomorrow, right? Because if you look at this range right here that formed the bottom, it took 3 days, right? You know, about 2 days. It took about 2 days. This right here, it took about one day and 8 hours to form a bullish market structure in the 4 hours. So it's not going to happen tonight, guys. It's not like but that 1-hour candle looks fantastic. I do like that one. I actually really like that one. I do like that one. And the stochastics is actually lining up quite nicely on this one. So yeah, I mean that's it's not looking too bad. If this 1-hour candle closes like this, or at least above that zone right there, if it closes like above 49.5, that's a pretty decent candle of the 618 of the RLC. So yeah, I kind of do like that. So you might want to go long based on that candle close, but it's definitely going to be risky. Definitely going to be risky. Let's see. Are we ahead of biggest upward move, new all-time high on Bitcoin? Could you? I'm not sure I understand the question, but maybe the question is, are we going to see a new all-time high or not in the next couple of weeks, maybe? And if that is the question, the only answer I have is I don't know, because it's obviously going to be impossible for me to know something like this. But like what we can do and what we can know is that we are seeing signs of a breakdown, right? So when you are seeing signs of a major breakdown, the first thing to do might not be to start talking about a new all-time high. I mean, you have to take it one level at a time and take it one step at a time. And the first step is to see if Bitcoin can establish a bottom around these levels, right? Remember, we still have a fantastic area around 40K, right? So for me, it's all about, finding the levels of interest. And when price hits the levels of interest, I look for bottom formations. And in my case, that's most likely going to be a W formation or something like that. So until we have that, I am just looking for Bitcoin to kind of go lower. And as soon as we have a bottom being, established, I'm just going to look at trading that potential bottom up to the next level, which is going to be resistance, right? So let's see, we got another question here. Got liquidated today for the first time in my life after a huge loss I had 2 days ago. I made a stupid decision, deviating from everything to try and get back some capital to trade. All right, so it's not a question, but I'd like to bring this up because it's very important. All right, so this is most likely caused by revenge trading or over trading, right? So you write that after a huge loss, I made a stupid decision, deviating from everything and to try and get some capital to trade. So, guys, like whenever you have a big loser, you have to take a break, right? You really need to take a break. It's like there's no question about that. If you have a big loser, you're not going to be like if you're not a you know if you haven't been maybe you've been training for 10 years and you're like super professional and you know exactly what to do in all scenarios, most likely not, right? Most likely you're a beginner trader, or you've been trading for a couple of years and you want to improve your trading. If that's the case, when you have a big loser, it's one of the hardest things to manage, right? You're getting because in trading you're very vulnerable, right? So you're very naked to the market, right? Just give me a minute. Yes, you're very vulnerable. I think that's the word. I can't really pronounce it correctly. And because it's only you in the market, right? So it's only you in the market, and everything you do in the market will translate over to your P&L and your long-term success, right? So if you make a stupid decision, you can't blame anyone but yourself. You can't blame the market. You can't blame market makers. You can't blame FUD. You can't blame anyone, not even Elian or Dogecoin, right? It's only you and the market. So everything you do will be up to you to solve. So if you have a big loser, you know that you lost money because you made a mistake. It's only you. So it's a really hard thing to deal with because you made a huge major mistake. So what you have to do is you have to look at that mistake. Like if you want to continue to trade after losing a large amount of capital, remember, everyone most big traders have lost everything at least a couple of times, right? I have liquidated 2 portfolios, so I mean I know what I'm talking about, right? So what you have to do is you need to take a break, right? Take a break as long. Yeah, so as long as you need, take a break as long as you need, right? And use that mistake as a look at it as you have like if you would pay a pay for a trading course, right? So you used paid for a very expensive trading course, but if you use the experience in the right way, that it's going to be the best invested money in a course ever, right? Because when learning from your failures and learning from your mistakes, that's only then is when you start growing as a trader. So the sooner you kind of start learning about your mistakes, you will grow as a trader. But please, like if you have a big winner or big loser, please take a break for as long as needed. Do not take a trade, because if you do take a trade after a big winner or a big loser, it's most likely not going to be at your best performance. Yes, of course I have greed problems. I mean I have huge. I mean I got huge problems, right? Like um like my emotional game is like the emotional game is where I struggle the most, right? So I have like periods where I'm like super tired, right? Like it could be like periods of like days or weeks when I'm like extremely tired. I got no motivation. I got like I'm super tired. I don't know if it's my ADD or whatever. But it's weird. Like sometimes, some days a week, I'm just extremely tired and I don't really have any motivations for anything. And in those periods, I can really make some stupid trading decisions, right? So that is and was in the beginning one of the hardest obstacles that I had to overcome. And what I did was I religiously started journaling, right? And I religiously started journaling, and I looked at all the mistakes I did. I noted down like, am I in a bad period, like a tired period, and did I make the mistake when I was tired? Did I make the mistake late at night or early in the morning? And all of these statistics kind of uh, showed me a clear picture, right? So it's not about not having problems with greed. It's not about not having problems with overtrading. It's everyone has those problems. Like, I mean, we're all humans. We're all emotional creatures. We're always going to be having problems with the psychological aspect of trading, even if you're a trading legend, right? There's going to be a situation in the market where you are going to make mistakes, right? So what you have to do is to identify when you should be trading and when you should not be trading. And that's something with the years I've become quite good at. I know when I should not be trading. For example, if I wake up, right, so maybe I wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning. If I'm trading at 6:15, I know it's going to be a shitty day, right? If the first thing I do when I wake up is I don't even get in breakfast. I don't even prepare the coffee or anything like that. I just straight up, like, I want to take a trade. I pull up the laptop, and right there and then I need to stop. Right there and then I need to stop and go through my daily routine, because I know that if I don't do that, the probability of me having a losing day is like 90%, right? So because I know that because of the statistics that I've gathered, right? So it's not like it's about like getting getting um, the hints of what's happening, right? So maybe I have a loser, right? And usually, let's say, usually I have 2 to 4 trades every day, right? And the third trade is going to be a loser based on a stupid mistake that I should not have done, right? So on that day, I might take, 6 or 7 trades when I'm normally taking 2 to 4 trades a day. I know that I'm over trading. So for the next 2 days, I'm not gonna look at the charts. I'm not gonna do any trading because I know that I'm now over trading. For some reason, I'm over trading, so I just have to stop trading. I don't really care why I'm over trading. I just have to stop trading. And if I have a very big loser, I need to take a step back and not trade for at least 24 hours, because I know that when I have a big loser, I have a hard time dealing with that. Maybe I usually I don't have big losers. I just have losing days, and the losing days can become big losing days because I'm never going to risk more than 1% on a setup, so I can't really have big losers. But I can have losing days, and losing days can turn into more losing days, which can turn into losing weeks and losing months. And so you have to kind of look at the hints of what's going on in your psychology, and be ready to take control of yourself. So to answer your question, yes, I still have problems with greed. Everyone most likely have. The difference between professional traders and new traders is we know when we have problems with greed, right? And new traders most likely know when they have problems with greed after the fact that they've done all the stupid mistakes. All right, what do you think of forming? Uh, do you think what do you think of forming a Head and Shoulders today? That would bring us to 30K. So I need to see that. I need to. Would this be the Head and Shoulders? Like here? I don't know. No, I can't really comment that because I don't really trade Head and Shoulders. I like it 30k. We have levels before 30k, so that's important, right? We have levels before we come to 30k, so we can't talk about 30k today because we have like decent. We haven't even broken this level now, so we take it one level at a time. Yeah, I mean that sucks, man. It really does. It really does sucks. It does really suck. But I mean, it's important to remember that even the biggest trading legends over the course of history have, I mean, some have lost, gone from zero to millions, back to zero, back to millions, back to zero, and back to millions. So blowing accounts is actually, for a lot of new traders, part of the process of becoming profitable. So now's the question, like, are you going to continue, or are you, because a lot of people, they just lose money, like they lose money year in year out, they lose money, and then they come to the realization that they just can't trade, right? They're not traders and they shouldn't be trading, so they quit. But the traders that actually make it are the traders that stay in the game and learn from their mistake. Right, so I had a similar situation as Ape over 2 weeks ago, full of the feeling that if I stop now, I might miss the chance to get back in. So, so what you should do, before you enter the market again, you need to figure out why you lost 50%. Right, it's very important. Like, you've lost 50% of capital, which should be impossible with proper risk management. I know that you didn't use proper risk management, but when I lose a trade, I lose 1%. Right? When I lose a trade, I lose 1%. If I lose 4 trades in a row, I lose 4% of my trading capital, and I'm done for the day and sometimes the whole week, right? Losing 50% of your capital is a major flaw in your risk management tactic, right? So what you need to do before you enter the market again, make sure you don't do the same mistake again, because if you lose the same amount again, you don't have any more money. You don't have any more money. And the goal of trading is not to make a lot of money in a short period of time. The goal of trading is to make small amount of money, and in the long run, that small amount of money will compound and become a large sum of money. So the goal is to stay alive for as long as possible. Stay alive in the market for as long as possible, so that you will be able to get the big winners, and that will grow your account steadily. So how do I think about that? You should not think about the fact of missing your chance to get back in, because chances are that if you get back in and you use the same system or the same strategy, or you trade in the same way that you did before, you're probably better off being tethered, right? So only trade if you're sure that you're actually going to make money, right? Only trade if you're actually trading something that's profitable, right? Otherwise, you're just gambling, and it's better to hold that money until you find something that you're profitable at doing. I think Bitcoin is going lower. So I do think Bitcoin is going lower. But I mean, yeah, I like that. That this looks decent. But if we could establish a bottom here, sure, that would be great, and I would probably long it if I could. But on a daily, I mean, yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. So for this question, I would like to. You should probably watch the risk management webinar I did as part of the 200K Congress. Check that one out. It's on risk management, and it doesn't matter if you have a 4 to 5K USD portfolio or 4 to 500K USD. It's going to be the same risk management, no matter the size of your portfolio. All right. Is there a video about how to journal your trade somewhere? Not a video, but we have. I know Aperture is working on some type of trading journal. So what you do is you have a trade here, right? So let's say you have a trade here. This is your trade, right? And you take this tool here and you write something like, I want to. All right, I want to go long. Not only go long, we're gonna add some more stuff, obviously. All right, I want to go long because we are inside a high time frame support, and we have some type of low time frame W market reversal or whatever in here. So that's your reasoning to go long. Blah blah blah. This is your trade. You save this somewhere. And it doesn't need to be super serious. I use a trading journal called Edgewonk for all my day trading, but it doesn't really need to be super serious. If you take a couple of trades every week, just write your entry, your entry triggers, why you want to enter, and you save the screenshots somewhere on your computer, and you have everything right here. And then when the trade is ended, let's say price goes like this and you don't take any profit and you get stopped out here, and you write something like this: should have taken profit here, winning trade turned into loser, right? Lesson, this is important. Lesson: take 25% TP at 1R and move stops to entry, right? So that's your lesson. So on every trade you're taking in the future, you are going to take this lesson with you, right? So that's your lesson. You go to the next trade, you do the same thing again, and if this works, you know that it's working, and you're going to continue doing that. And that's going to be the start of your journaling, right? Just observe price action, look at your setups before and after, and kind of take notes and try to figure out what's going on. Like I said, I use Edgewonk. You can also use a spreadsheet. Might be able to send that out in the Discord. All right, so let's say I some more questions, because I'm just going to take a couple of questions and then I have to end the stream. Right, I just feel like I always need to buy into BTC. I feel like I'm losing chances when I'm leaning back and on USD. Well, I lost the words. Man, that must have looked pretty retarded. Yes, so you feel like you're losing money when you're in USD, which makes sense, because I mean, holding USD is not really that profitable. But I think what you should do is you should wait for the trade. Wait for the market to give you something, right? That's very, very important. A lot of new traders feel they need to be in a position all the time. They need to take a trade all the day, every day, all day. They need to be in a position. They need to all the time let the market work, or let the money work for them, which is a good idea in general, but it's not a good idea if you just take a trade because you want to take a trade, or you open a long position on some product just because you want to have a long position. You should only take a trade, or you should only take a long position on something long term, because it makes sense according to your system and your strategy. So on Bitcoin right here, I don't want to buy Bitcoin here because it makes no sense for me to buy Bitcoin here because I have no sign of a bounce here. But if we see what I want to see here, then it makes sense for me to take a low time frame trade. Right now, I'm on my day trading portfolio, I'm 100% USD because it makes no sense for me to be long on Bitcoin in during a major dump without any signs of a bottom being put in. So I don't really care if I'm in USD, whatever, as long as there's no trade. My money is safer in a stable currency. If the USD could even be looked at as stable these days. All right. Have you ever gone bankrupt in your trading career? So I've never I've never lost everything. So I'm doing this full time. So I guess I'm a professional. It sounds weird but I'm doing this full time. So yeah, I guess I am. I have not. Before doing this full time, I have lost everything twice, but not with the amount of money that I have today. So I lost way too much 2017, and then I had like a trading portfolio. I was doing a some weird shit and lost everything on that one. But it was not, a huge amount of money. But yeah, I've lost everything that I've been trading with twice, and that was actually quite traumatic, And secondly, obviously, like the second time, I kind of felt like I was, the worst trader ever, and I really seriously considered, just never going back to trading ever again. But I kept at it and told myself that, I'm so close. Losing this amount was not based on my system; it's based on my psychology. So I'm so close to really creating something wonderful here. And yeah, I think after the second time, I kind of had a important talk with myself, and I basically told myself that if you're gonna do this, like, it's my dream to be a trader, right? So if you're gonna do this, you really need to not fuck around and make these stupid mistakes again. So you really need to be disciplined, and you need to follow your rules 100%. And after that realization, I kind of understood that, I don't know, something happened. It's like I started religiously, doing the journaling and following my rules, and I quickly became profitable after that. So it's like, yeah, you need to get real with yourself. You can't. I mean, this is one of the hardest things to master in this world, right? Being a trader and consistently making money trading is no joke. It's extremely demanding. So yeah, take it serious, man. Take it serious. All right, thank you, man. I really do appreciate the comments like this one. This is the reason why I'm doing this. I mean, I'm spending most of my free time in here with you guys in the Nest Club, and I try to make give you guys as much content as much educational content as possible. And yes, I really do enjoy that. How do you differentiate between long-term and short-term strategies? I still strongly believe that Bitcoin will reach higher this year, but somehow feel the need to trade anyway, not just hodl. Right. So I would like. All right. So if the feeling, like the need to trade, is going to lose you money, right? So that feeling, you need to get that checked, right? You can't. With that feeling, you're going to be losing money, right? Your desire should not be to trade because you want to trade. Your desire should be to wait for wait for the market to give you something, right? Just observe the market, and when you have something, you when you see something, you take it, right? So you should just, well, okay, right. So let me just answer that question. Take 10% of whatever you're holding and trade with it actively, right? 10%, and expect to lose it all, right? And when you lose everything, look at what mistakes you've done and correct them, and slowly but surely you will become profitable. The smaller the amount of money you start with, the smaller the loss. So start with something and start trading, and you're going to realize that it's extremely hard. And when you realize that, you are going to make mistakes, and just learn from mistakes. But take like no more than 10% of your long-term holding. So have one long-term holding and one 10% short-term trading portfolio. That's going to help you with the need to trade. So yeah, when did you realize you were good enough to be a professional trader? When when I started to like consistently make gains, really, like when I well, it all happened with me joining the Burb Nest. Like I will probably not be in the position I am today because like Adrian, Crypto Burb, he's really he's really the person who gave me the opportunity to be really good at what I'm doing. So like I'm forever grateful for him and the opportunity to join the Burb Nest, because without my position as like before I joined the Burb Nest, I was making money trading, like some months some really good profits trading, but it was not my full-time occupation, not my full-time, right? But after joining the Burb Nest, I noticed that people actually listen to me, people actually take advice from me, and people actually take my setups. And I started posting the trade setups, and I see that, oh holy shit, I mean, I'm actually making money for the members of this community. So it's like I'm not only consistently profitable for myself, but there might be a possibility that I could really, start investing in my own trading and really take it to the next level. And that's basically what I did. So yeah, I started trading, and I started investing more in my own trading. And all of a sudden I started seeing that with not a lot of effort, my system was working, and yeah, I started making money. So I'd say, I mean, if you're profitable month in and month out, you're probably going to have losing month. But if you're profitable month in and month out, and you have the capital, I would say go for it. At least try to trade as if you were a professional. And if you could do that for 6 months and you have the capital, just go for it, right? And I've traded the bear market successfully, so I know that I would be able to trade the bull market quite successfully. So if you're starting now in a bull market, just if you're focusing on Bitcoin, maybe make sure you can trade the bear market as well, which is it's a bit different. It's way harder, I would say. All right, guys, that's it. That's it for today. My girlfriend's gonna kill me because we had not planned this webinar at all. All right, guys. I'm gonna quickly throw something together for the Bitcoin report, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining, everyone, and have a great Thursday.